This is my first video, so bear with me. These are all the ingredients you will need in order to make amazing chow mein. Himalayan salt, soy sauce of your choosing, pure sesame oil, and peanut oil. I'll also add some pre-steamed chow mein noodles, bean sprouts, broccoli, celery, onion, garlic. I have red cabbage, mushrooms, and beef stir-fry strips. Now we turn our heat onto our stove to get our heat boiling for our noodles. Next, we'll dice up our onion. It is pretty hard to do with one hand, as I found out. Here's a little trick just to get the peel off the onion. You can roll it around just much like a boiled egg after you boil it to get the shell off. And again, it's kind of hard to do with one hand. Next here I wanted to show a trick on how to cut an onion really quick and in fine pieces, but as you can see again, it's hard to do with one hand, but you can watch me struggle. Once you do get the onion cut into slits, you can just simply turn the onion sideways and cut down and get fine pieces out of the onion. It's just so much easier to do it this way than the old traditional way of butchering an onion, as I see on so many different channels. Next we have celery. Again, you can see I cannot cut it with one hand, but yeah, look at that. Finally cut celery, and on to the next step. Get our noodles into the boil. These should only cook for about 3 minutes or so. Next I have some garlic. Again, I cannot cut with one hand until I get better equipment. Yeah, this happened, so just ignore that. The garlic is fine chopped. Red cabbage. Again, this is really hard to do with a shaky camera, holding it with one hand while cooking. Mushrooms. Not a one-handed chopping vegetable. But I did it. Here we go. Into the pan. Got some oil. And always make sure to season your pan. You can add some salt. And with that salt, you take a paper towel. And you can take your wok spoon. And while the heat is on, gently brush that wok. Next here, I'm just cutting up my ground beef. Not ground beef, strip beef. Here we go. I could do that with one hand. Let's go. Oil into the pan. My noodles that I boiled over into the pan. You want to stir fry these for about 2 to 3 minutes. After which, though, you bring them out, put them somewhere like I put them in a strainer. I added some more oil, and now I'm gonna add my vegetables. So I'm gonna add my onion first. And I'm going to add my mushrooms, because they go pretty quick. They will shrink down in size quite fast. So once my onions and my mushrooms are translucent, well, my onions will be translucent, I'm going to add in my my beef strips. And I'm going to let those simmer and darken until they are cooked thoroughly. You want to make sure there's not too much moisture in your pan, because you do not want to be steaming your beef. You want to be cooking your beef and frying your beef. Once that's done, now I can add my garlic. Garlic should only take about 30 seconds to about a minute until it starts smelling aromatic. Aromatic? 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 Next, broccoli and the celery that I had chopped up. I mix them in the same bowl. So we'll get those all mixed in together. Finally, I add my red cabbage. Note to self, don't add red cabbage, use green cabbage. Red cabbage will dye your noodles blue. It looks great when the plate is finally done, but it will dye your noodles. Next here is a little bit of MSG. Only the best thing in the world to add to your noodles. Next here, I just add about 2 or 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, and I'll mix that in with everything. Again, I'll just add some bean sprouts. You really could add any vegetable of your choosing to a chow mein. I forgot to add some scrambled eggs. So I will scramble up some eggs real quick into a little side dish that is not in the video, but you will see me add them shortly. You want to add about a 1/4 cup of water to your stir fry and then cover it and let it simmer. There's my scrambled eggs. And I'm going to add them now to the pan. A little bit of green onion, fresh out of my garden, you know, just to brighten up everything. I love the colors with the red cabbage, but I wasn't thinking at the time. The cabbage will dye your noodles blue. But if you're gonna eat it all, it's gonna look fine. Next, I just added some little tiny corns, because who doesn't love little tiny corns? Let's be honest. Here's the final product. And here's me. I will be doing a lot more videos of me included in the videos as I'm cooking. I did not have a tripod or a camera clip to do overhead shots before when I was cooking, but please subscribe to my channel and the videos will get better as we continue on.